Hello, beautiful subscribers. It's June 28th here, southeastern Pennsylvania, zone 7A. And today we have a fun video all about pawpaws. What makes pawpaws fun is that they are in a tropical family of fruits, the Annonacea family. So they are tropical fruits that you can grow in the north, as far north as zone 5. So most people don't know about pawpaws because they don't store well at all. They only last for 2 or 3 days after they've fallen off the tree or you've harvested them. Sometimes in the refrigerator they can last a week, which makes them very hard to ship, and that's why you won't see them in the grocery store. The Annonacea family, commonly known as the custard apple family, consists of fruits like cherimoya, soursop, and sugar apple. All these fruits are typically grown in subtropical or tropical regions, but the pawpaw you can grow in the north. Pawpaws have a very unique texture and flavor for a fruit that you can grow in the north. The flavor is like a mango mixed with a banana, custard, Rita's water ice, and the texture is smooth, also creamy. It's very unique, and they will be yellow and brown when we come back to harvest them. We're on the other side of the farm here at my buddy Rich's house, and Rich has a bunch of pawpaws that he dug up and transplanted from another person in town. And pawpaws can be dug up real easily and transplanted because they put off lots of shoots or sucker growth from the root system. So it's easy to get in there and chop them out. Here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawpaws here. And that one in the back was transplanted 5 years ago. It was maybe 2 feet tall when he planted it, and now it's pushing 8 feet at least, with a nice size caliper trunk on it. So if you have any friends that have pawpaws, go see if they'll let you dig up any of the roots, because it's an easy way to propagate them. It's kind of hard to tell, but here is a very young pawpaw. Maybe this is what it'll look like 2 years after you dig it up, or maybe 2 years from a seed. Here's a pawpaw, maybe 3 years. And then back here, we have some older ones. I think this is 5 years old. And no, I don't know the variety because he took them from somebody in town. But these older ones are holding fruit. So I'll zoom in here in a second. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of fruit on this one. This pawpaw was transplanted 5 years ago, and you can see the fruit grows in these clusters. So this is like a cluster of 4. Here are my 4 pawpaw trees. As you can see, they are very young. I planted these 2 years ago, so they're going on their 3rd season. And these are name brand varieties. We have the Potomac, the mango, which is supposed to be one of the best tasting pawpaws. We have a PA Gold, and we have a Wabash. So name brand varieties have just been selected for their fruit size and fruit quality. Like I said, I planted these 2 years ago. They're on their 3rd season. They were a foot tall when I planted them. And even though they are young trees, they all flowered this year, which was exciting. The mango actually set fruit, and the Potomac set fruit. The mango dropped them all, and the Potomac is holding one pawpaw, which is my very first pawpaw that I have ever grown on the farm, which is exciting. I'll zoom in here and we'll take a look at it. Here's my first ever pawpaw. And this is a young tree, so it's not like an apple or a European pear that takes 5, 7, 8 years to produce. Produced pretty quickly, especially for the size. Now, pawpaws will produce significantly more fruit in full sun. And my trees are obviously in full sun. But what's also cool about pawpaws is they will produce fruit in partial shade. Pawpaws tend to have desirable fruit from most seeds. So you can open them up at your house, take the seeds out, and then propagate them and plant them at your house, and you will have a good tasting piece of fruit. Pawpaws are native to the United States. They're more popular in Kentucky and Indiana, Ohio regions, but here we are at a local park in Pennsylvania, zone 7A, and you can see that they are growing natively. What's also cool about the pawpaws is that they can be grown as an understory tree. This tree is in mostly shade. I had say it only gets 1 or 2 hours of sunlight, direct sunlight, and it did produce a bunch of fruit last year. So if you don't have a lot of sun in your backyard, then pawpaws might be the right tree for you. That being said, it will produce significantly more fruit in full sun. Here is an example of the shoots that I talk about them putting up off the root system. So the main tree is further back here, but it puts up all these little shoots that you can easily come in, if this wasn't the park, and pop them out and propagate them. Transplant them over to your house. Here's an example of pawpaws spreading via the root system, but they also will spread via seed. Animals like bears, possums, raccoons, and deer, they all love to eat pawpaws, and they are filled with big seeds inside, and they can be spread around natively by animals as well. You can't produce fruit without cross-pollination from another variety. The flowers of the pawpaw in the springtime I showed in an earlier video, and they are dark purple or even a brownish black color, and usually pollinated by flies. So this pawpaw here cannot produce fruit on its own. It needs to get pollen from a different one of Rich's trees. Here's another pawpaw being grown here, zone 7A, Pennsylvania. This tree's about 12 feet tall and has over 50 pieces of fruit on it, and it's growing in partial shade, which is really cool because most fruit trees You will not get fruit unless you're in the full sun. We're at a friend's house in town and we're looking at 2 of their pawpaws they planted 16 years ago. They were 4 feet tall when they planted them 16 years ago. And they're doing really well. Look at the difference between these trees and the trees that are grown in partial shade. These trees are full sunlight. You can see how dense they are, how wide the canopy is, and they are loaded with fruit. It's hard to explain how much fruit is actually on these trees. I mean, this one branch alone, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 25 pieces of fruit on this one branch alone. I mean, if you didn't need cross-pollination to get fruit, you would only need 1 tree in your backyard. But since we do need cross-pollination, we need at least 2 varieties. Also, apparently, they said the fruit does not ripen off the tree. So we need to leave it on there as long as possible until they turn soft, yellowish brown, and then they will be ready. Pawpaws can get 30 feet tall, 30 feet wide. These trees are roughly 20 years old if they were planted 4 feet high, and they've been in the ground for 16 years. So let's call these trees 20 years old. You could see how big they are, easily 20 feet tall. But they can live for 50 years or more. So this tree is not done growing. Technically, it could put on another 10 feet, probably another 10 feet wide if you didn't prune it. I want to sum up today's video by saying pawpaws are relatively easy to grow in the shade, in full sun. They taste really unique. They're a tropical fruit that we get to grow in the north, which is rare. I wanted to do a shout out to my #1 fan, Eamon Bernhardt. Thanks for watching all my videos. And like always, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.